both getting older. I mean, Israel does have, a free press, and now with the internet, there's a lot of, information available. I still think it's possible to live in that bubble of that a lot of people, you just get information that reinforces your view. And then the challenge is how you reach people, that don't agree with you yet. A lot of us are always talking to the people that already agree with us. I mean, a lot of our social media work, right, that we have a Facebook page that we're now trying to bring as many Israelis as possible that don't agree with us into this conversation. And the same, I think, with American Jews, to say, next time you come, if you give me half a day and I take you to see a few things that you've never seen before, to push that conversation.
Thank you. So where would you take them on that half day?
I mean, even to see the wall around Jerusalem, right? Or you go to Rachel's tomb. Did you go, or you at least from the other side? I mean, for most Israelis and American Jews, all of the unpleasant things that Israel is doing, in one way or another, it's linked to our security. And then you say, well, it's really complicated, right? How do you weigh security of Israelis, Palestinian human rights? I don't want to get into that. And who am I to say what risks to take? And then you see things. I mean, to build the wall around Rachel's tomb, where you have Palestinian neighborhoods, again, surrounded by three sides by these walls. I mean, it's a fortress in the middle of Bethlehem. There's no way to make sense of that from a security perspective. And then that, you plant a little seed of doubt. Not everything is as clear-cut as I thought it was. I mean, or you go to Hebron. You've been to Hebron, where you have settlers living in the heart of a Palestinian neighborhood, really extremist, and some cases violent settlers. And then you have all of these restrictions put on Palestinians in order to allow these radical settlers to be living in the heart of a Palestinian city. I mean, particularly for American Jews, basic principles of equality and fairness and justice. You can't. I've had a few incredible stories of people, very mainstream leaders in the Jewish community who then write me years later and say, I don't know whether to thank you or to curse you, that, since I went out with you, I can't get those images out of my mind, and, it starts some sort of process.
Norman Finkelstein has a new book out. I haven't read it yet. I have it, but I haven't read it yet. It's called We Know Too Much.
Interesting.
And I've heard him speak about it. And basically his point is, American Jews, as he's talking about, there's enough information out there.
Yeah.
And it's certainly accessible. And the American Jewish community knows enough not to do something. First of all, would you agree that American Jews generally know enough? And second, how has the emergence of J Street impacted your work in the U.S., particularly because, some would say the emergence of J Street has further politicized the issue, so it's AIPAC against J Street, and everything they stand for, each of them,
right,
in a way distracting from the issues and the information.
I agree with Norman that all the information is available, but then the question is whether people know. I think this about Israelis as well. If you want to know what's going on, there's plenty of, everything is known, right? You just, one click in your Google search, you get all the information that you need. But still there's some levels of, a lot of ignorance, right? Some kind of willful ignorance. But you see this with a lot of the debates in the United States, right? Over health care, between the sort of Tea Party and the, everybody is seeing the facts that support their own opinion, even though, again, all the information is available. So do American Jews know enough? I don't know. I don't know, actually.
Well, I ask knowing that you don't live there.
Yeah.
You live here, but you still have connections.
No, I mean, I speak to a lot of people, and I mean, I think you have, it's again, a willful ignorance, right? On some level, probably they know, but they purposely don't engage with those issues, right? Either because it's too complicated or painful, or, you know, create some sort of cognitive dissonance.
Is the APAC J Street
I mean, for us,
competition, has that, I've chosen my team and I'm going to follow that, and, you know, I don't need to know more information.
right. I mean,
Just
but in
support.
a lot of ways, J Street has opened up a conversation. And, I mean, you have criticism from J Street, obviously from the right, but also from the left.
That's true.
You know, so that I mean, it used to be that really, from in the mainstream Jewish community, you couldn't say anything bad about Israel.
Mhm.
So, in that sense, now that you have J Street, I mean, it's not a fair fight between J Street and APAC, right? APAC is,
Huge.
right. But, I mean, I think J Street has done, right, it's 3-4 years maybe since J Street was founded, so, you know, they've quite quickly established themselves as a voice, and then, you know, opened up a conversation. I mean, we're feeding our information into J Street. We're also trying to feed our information into APAC, right? Our message is everybody who loves Israel should be concerned about human rights. It doesn't have to do with a particular political agenda. I mean, here and there we try and, you know, find allies within APAC as well. But the idea that you can have a more, you know, rational conversation on Israel, which is one of the effects of J Street, is helpful for all of us.
It seems like there's a lot of information,
Yeah.
but maybe the main question is not about the information, but how we reframe so that we see differently and how to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Because in the US, for example, most often it should not be a surprise why people vote against their own interest, even when they're confronted with the information.
Yeah.
And someone said that maybe the best approach to changing people is not giving so much information. That's very important, but to appeal to their sense of security, because that's the way people normally interpret facts to support their own position.
Right.
And when you appeal to the question about security, then maybe that's your entry point to communicating something that may transform them.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. You have a Israeli philosopher also who came and spoke to us recently about, he has two different paradigms. One is called the language of justice, and the other is language of compassion. And he's, you know, most people function in this realm of language of compassion, about me and my community and sympathy and taking care of, you know, myself and others and being taken care of. And